start. We're going to start straight away with flexion, extension of the spine. So roll the shoulders back and down, feet are hip distance apart. Let's soften the knees and lift the arms. Look up, stretch. So you're lifting fingertips away from the hips and then straightening the legs and folding. We're taking it nice and gently initially. Softening the knees to come up. And we're staying here with this flexion extension of the spine, a couple of rounds so you've got time to maybe become a little bit more energetic or keep a nice steady flow. See if we can start thinking about the breath, breathing in to come up and air, feeling all the air leave the lungs as we fold. Last 2 or 3 times. So today we'll take a few rounds of movements, and in between each, I'm going to take you through a couple of different breathing techniques to allow softening and just allow us to maybe take stock and allow the benefits of your wonderful work to kick in. Oh, my head has gone crazy. Let's take it into a side-to-side movement now. So if we stand towards the right of your space, step wide, step behind, and then the knees open for a little curtsy bend. Stepping side to side. Now don't worry about how far we go, it's just that external rotation of the hips, squeezing the glutes to stand tall. Now let's press the thumbs into the chest. So we're working the arms, postural muscles, chest nicely open wide. Couple more. So particularly if you've got any niggles in your knees, you see how my knees are tracking over the toes. You can make it a smaller movement, but also just making sure the knees, toes turned out to the same degree. Last couple of sets each side. Lovely. There's something about pressing the thumbs into the chest space. It just gives that nice reminder to keep the chest nicely open wide. Brilliant. Last time over to the left. And then we're coming to a wide leg fold. Okay. Now interlacing the forearms, coming into a little forward fold without forcing, and we're taking a gentle twist sway. So here I'd like you to let the head go and smallish movements, maybe getting a little bit bigger. Now the knees can be off lock, nicely soft or straight, but no locking out the knees. If your spine feels warm enough, we can lift the arms and take the movement bigger. We're adding on a little bit of a sway in the hips, the inner thighs getting a little bit of a stretch. Try to leave out any tension in the jaw and the neck by just letting the head hang. We're not trying to look up at the ceiling. It's just a gentle pendulum sway. And then come center, soften the knees and roll up through the spine, coming back up to standing. Let me leave that message. Okay, last thing here, we're going to take the hands into that steeple top position, interlacing the fingers, index fingers pointing up to the ceiling, and we're taking a stretch of the whole body. So legs wide, steeple top fingers, reach up, nice big stretch. And again with soft knees, taking the points of the fingers, the index fingers all the way around to draw a big circle. Just warming up the whole body. So let's see if we can take maybe 4 in this direction. And then we'll change direction. 2 more. So because pranayama, or the kind of mindful breathing side of meditation, isn't everyone's cup of tea, let's change directions. I thought we'll just separate each set of exercises, movements with one technique. Just so you can explore that, give the body a chance to relax, settle, notice how the body's feeling. And also then you may find that there's one particular breathing technique which kind of suits you and you could use it at any point. Lower the arms, toe and heel the feet in. So the first movement we're going to take is a kind of walking movement. So shoulders back and down. Let's have the weight into the right foot for a change. So let's lift the left knee up, tap down, step back, and a small lunge. So it might be a bit wobbly initially. So the body's figuring out what needs to be done. So it's a tap, a lift, a tap, lunge. Now, as you get into the flow a bit, if you find something in front of you that's not moving, you may feel you can take out that tap in between. But what we want to work on is finding a slow, controlled movement, sticking with your left leg being active. Shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed, both knees pointing forwards. We're kind of working those train track lines. Core is engaged, that's reeling up this knee. Few more on this side. And you can go back to the tap. If you're starting to reach that kind of point of fatigue, this standing foot, let's keep gripping the floor, big toe, little toe, across the ball of the foot. And if we can avoid leaning forwards, we'll get a yummy hip flexor stretch from this back leg. So we stand and bend. Two more on this side and then we switch legs. And then you get that breathing space. Jaw relaxed, shoulders down. Don't worry about touching the floor. You want to feel in control of this and just feel a gentle movement, bit of a work into the quads, and let's switch legs. So initially, just find your way because it's a different leg, different circumstances, different ability to balance on the other side, so no expectations. So initially, maybe with a tap or sticking with the tap. So just feeling your way through this. So if we look out as if you're looking out at the horizon, it can be tempting to look down at our legs. We know where they are. Trust. Just feel your way through train tracks. We've got that lovely alignment, ankles, knees, hips. Core engaged, so even you can dig your fingers in and check your TBAs are supporting you throughout this movement. Doing your best to keep the breath nice and slow, easy. Last couple on this side. So you can think ahead. Our recovery breath will be belly breath. So we'll be allowing the belly to balloon out. So as soon as we take that deep breath in, pushing the belly out, diaphragm's active, and that sets off that physiological impact of lowering cortisol in the body. So as soon as we feel that belly ballooning out, we're helping the body to come to a calmer state. Last two on this side, and then let's try that belly breath. Brilliant. All right, stand with your feet a bit hip distance apart, hands on the belly, shoulders relaxed. Close your eyes if you're comfortable to, you don't have to. Now as you breathe in, feel the belly press into the hands, fingers come apart, hold that breath, push the belly out. And then breathe out, feel the softening. Keep breathing out, tummy bottom back to the spine. Relax the shoulders once more, and then we're moving on to the next exercise, so enjoy it. Breathe into the belly, push the belly out, press into the hands. And then breathe out and let it all go. We're coming into a warrior two exercise. So we'll start with the legs out wide. Let's have the right toe still pointing forwards. The left heel comes in, heel in line with the right arch. Bend the knee, and it's at this point you may find you want to change how wide apart the legs are. You want the knee over the ankle on this left side, bottom slightly tucked, and find your central line, that center of gravity. Lift the arms, shoulders back and down, reach to the front and back wall, and work on this inner thigh rolling up to the ceiling. So we're going to breathe in, straighten the leg, open the arms up, squeeze the glutes and try to feel length from the base of the spine up to the fingertips, and breathe out back to our warrior two. Always coming back to this lovely strong line, central axis, that vertical line. Okay, stick with it. Breathing in, squeezing the glutes, press into the floor to lift, that root to rise feeling, and then shoulders back and down. If you can, work with the breath. If that's a distraction, just allow the breathing to flow naturally. If your balance is fine, then we can start to allow the gaze to follow these left fingers. Breathing in, really activate the legs by squeezing the glutes and reaching up. Breath out, nice slow breath. Back to your warrior two. So throughout, let's think about if everything was stacked along the spine. So we're in a really straight position into our warrior two. We've maintained that long line, base of the spine, up to the crown of the head. Let's have two more on this side and then we'll change directions. Shoulders back and down, bottom slightly tucked. So we're getting a bit of a release in this hip. So the next we'll be taking a three-part breath. So we've worked into the belly, then we'll be expanding the ribs and then taking the breath into the chest and up through the crown of the head. Last time out to warrior two, shoulders back and down, float the arms down, we're changing sides. So your left toes forwards, your right heel lining up with the arch. Lift the arms. Give them a shake out if they're a little bit tired from the last set. Okay, let's bend the knee, check we're happy with our stance and this inner thigh up to the ceiling, warrior two. So starting to straighten the legs, squeeze the glutes, look up and start to think about where's your center of gravity. Because it's very tempting as we come to warrior two to follow that right hand. Try to keep really upright along the spine. And when we take the arms overhead, let's try to only lift them to the point where we can still keep the shoulders down. So we're not adding stress to the neck. The arms are, you'll notice they're coming in front of my body. We sometimes try too hard to get the arms either side of the ears and overhead. And actually the body's designed, you know, we mostly get activities that we're using the arms in front of the body. So you know, we talk about the plumb line, but actually the shoulders need to be those couple of degrees forwards. It's just with our lifestyle, we tend to take them more than a few degrees forwards. So nice and open, challenging your balance by looking at the fingertips or keeping your gaze at eye level. Once more on this side, and then let's try that three-part breath. Breathe in and lengthen. Breathe out to warrior two, and then soften the arms down. Place the feet a little wider than hip distance apart. One hand on your belly, one on your chest, shoulders back and down. Close the eyes if you're comfortable with that. So we'll breathe into the belly, then breathe into the ribs, ribs opening wide. Then keep breathing in like you're bringing the air up through the crown of the head. And then breathe out, softening shoulders, ribs, belly. One more like that. Breathe into the belly, into the ribs, puff out the chest, and right up to the crown of the head. Full lung capacity, and then soften all the way down. We're taking a pyramid fold with the arms. So let's start with the right foot forward, left foot back, which is the other way around. All right. We are going to take right arm up to the ceiling, left hand down. Now let's keep the hips square to the front. This is a hip flexor release. Spine, core, legs working. So deep breath in here. As we breathe out, we're hinging from the hips. Arms switch in front of the body. And we'll pause. We're not collapsing over the front leg. We're fingers reaching forwards and backwards. Now, tummy button back to the spine and rise back up. So let's stick with this. Shoulders down. Hips square, squeeze the glutes, breathing out into the fold. So just allow the gaze to naturally rise and fall with the chest. So there's no straining of the neck. Lovely, just keep going with this side. Do try to pause at the top to squeeze the glutes and get a little bit of a hip flexor, at least a neutral position, if not a full hip release. If this is very strong on the backs of your legs, do soften the knees. We can do this with a little bend in the knees, and that's all fine. Give me 2 more. Why not try and more securely tie back my ridiculous. So try to make the breath follow. Nice out breath, long, right to the tummy bottom, feels back to the spine. Last one with me. And coming forwards, then up to standing. Let's switch legs. Left foot forward, right back, hips square to the front, tilt the pelvis. Same arm forwards, left arm forwards, left leg forwards. Deep breath in as we breathe forward, the legs straight if you can, arms wide, stretch forwards and backwards, then tummy bottom back to the spine. Get your strength from that navel, corset around your waist. We're trying to go for shoulder stabilization here. So see if you can, rather than reach the arm out to the socket, just keep the shoulders back and down and the arm nicely tucked. So this way we're not going to the full range of movement with the arms. So we're kind of adding Pilates principles onto a yogic movement. We're trying to keep the chest square to the front, the hips square to the front. Naturally, this right hip will want to start adjusting back. See if you can keep the left hip, the left femur plugged into the hip socket. So even this, if we can add on movement with breath, we can consider this meditation. There's so much going on in the body, so it's matching the breath with the movement. This is great for calming down body and mind. Let's have one last full set on this side. Great. Soften the knees and just have a few kickbacks. Strong stretch of the backs of the knees there. We're going to be taking a chair twist for the next one, but the next breath that we'll try is that kind of shivering under, full slow breath. So that we'll breathe into full capacity. We'll hold it for as long as you can, and then let it all go. So we may fit 2 in, you may fit 3, you may be tempted to make 1 last. So breathe in, if you want, close your eyes, breathe in, feel that full lung capacity. Hold, hold, hold. Whenever you need to, let the breath out. Don't worry, we'll all be at different stages. Just try another breath when you're ready. Full lung capacity, so belly, ribs, fill, expand, all directions, and hold the breath. Retain the breath, retain. And here it's just that kind of almost catching a moment of silence in the body. Maybe gathering up tension from around the body, and then that exhalation, letting it all go. Brilliant. So for our chair twist, it's continuous movement. Let's first of all check our form. So when we bend the knees, I want you to still be able to see your toes. So we've got hips, knees, ankles all in a line, toes pointing forwards. So let's just make sure that we've got this nice movement, nice alignment, hands in prayer. Breathe in. As you breathe out, we take a twist. Breathe in, standing tall, squeeze the glutes. Maybe we lift the arms, breathing out, take a prayer twist to the other side. So continuous movement, keep it going. Again, the idea of the arms being slightly in front of the body. Let's not strain the shoulders by trying to keep the arms in line with the ears. One nice, careful, mindful, continuous movement with the breath. So it's as if we're going to sit back in a chair, knees back, so that we're using the stabilizing muscles to support the knees and the ankles without overstraining the knees. Now, in one of our earlier sessions, we were talking about not going right to the edge or not collapsing. into a position. Here, this was one of the examples we gave, that if I hook the elbow onto the outside of the knee, I'm using this hand strength and the hooking to take a deeper stretch. Let's see if just for this round, this particular exercise, we use the strength in the core to twist. We may not get as far, but we're working very deeply and using far more muscles. And we can keep it as nice, steady, continuous movement. As soon as I hook, I've kind of collapsed, I've let go, and then I have to work less smoothly to come out of it. So no hooking, sitting low, feeling where you can hold the twist. It means that we're owning every little bit of this movement. You're nearly there. Breathing in, last time each side. Great. And then shake out the hands, the legs. The next one we're going to do, straw breath, Judy's breath. So we're going to take a deep breath in. Now, 80% of the breath, breathe out as if through a straw. And the last, just let it go. Shoulders down, relax, yummy. Another one. Breathe in, maximum inhalation. Siphon that breath all the way up. And then plunging through a straw. Ribs start to close, tummy bottom back to the spine, keep going. And then right at the end, let it all go. Maybe you didn't seem like enough of a rest, but that's your lot. We're moving on. We're coming down to the mat, all fours, cat-cow. Roll down through the spine, find the floor, and we take one round of cat-cow. So we're breathing in to look up through the arch of the spine, and the breath out chin to chest, round the back. Once more, breathe in, and out. We're coming all the way down onto our belly, a little bit of a swimmer. Come down to the floor, arms out in front of you. They can be in a wide V. And forehead to the floor, press the pelvis into the floor, right arm, left leg, extends forwards, go for length over height, breathe out and lower, left arm, right leg, lifts, floats up, stretches away from the navel, and then breathing out, lowering down. If you're used to this swimmer, you can float arms and legs off and make this a continuous fluttering, but we want to avoid that wavering from the hip side to side. Above all, try to keep an engagement in the navel. Keep your gaze down to the floor, chin in towards the neck, so we're not straining the back of the neck. Whichever version you're doing, let's go into that stretch. Last little bit of effort. You're nearly there. Go for it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands under the shoulders and press back to a child pose. Brilliant, brilliant. And have a little sway on the hips, gently side to side. We're coming on to the back, slowly lift the head. Come into our supine setup. We take the double leg stretch. Start with the knees into the chest. Arms come out overhead in front of the chest. Come to a V as you breathe in, breathe out. Knees come towards the chest. Tap the outer ankles. Breathe in, extend to a V. Breathing out and draw in. If you wish, you can lift the upper body, but only do this if you've got no tension in your neck. So you can breathe in and extend away from the center line. We breathe out, circle the arms down. Reach. And let the breath go. Last 3 times. You're doing well. Shoulders back and down. Let's make this our last. And then hug the knees into the chest, have a little rock on the spine. Feet on the floor, 2 breaths. 4, 4, 4, 4 breath. If you're happy to close the eyes, hands on the belly, we breathe in for 4 counts, we hold for 4 counts, we breathe out for 4 counts, we hold for 4 counts. Let's try it together. Relax the shoulders. Breathe in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Breathe in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the breath. Bridges with the breath. Feet quite close to the bottom. I just brush the backs of my ankles with my fingers. Relax the arms and breathe in, rolling up through the spine. Chest comes up to the chin. And breathing out, lowering down. See if you can articulate through the spine with control and without arching or lifting the shoulders. Continuous movement, squeezing up, slow breath. This is great for the thyroid, the spine, the hips. And breathing out, rolling down. If you've got niggles in your shoulders, it can be nice to hold the shoulders and almost externally rotate them so we keep a nice line and avoid tension creeping into the shoulders. The knees are in line with the ankles and the hips. If you can, look down at your knees. You'll notice if they're starting to knock together or fall out wide. See if you can keep that nice alignment. If you wish, for the last couple, you can lift the arms overhead. And one nice way to ease out the spine is to come back to those steeple top fingers, fingers interlaced. Index fingers up to the ceiling, lift. Now we are lifting the shoulders, shoulder blades apart and rolling down through the spine. You almost get a little massage of the back there. Last couple of rounds, breathing in to lift up. Stretch, squeeze the glutes, hold high for a moment, and then breathing out, rolling down through the spine. Last 2 sets, option to lift one leg. So as you come up into your bridge lift, going beyond Pilates ski slope, we're taking the hips as high as they'll go. Stabilize, weight into one foot, so we can lift one leg. Engage the core. And return, roll down through the spine for the last side or without a leg lift, your choice. Rolling up through the spine, stabilize the hips, weight into the other foot so the hips stay level, extend and return. Rolling down the last time, the slowest you can go, it's the last time. So remember I've told you before about if I put a strap around your hips and keep them pulled up, lowering one tiny bit of the spine, then re-tilt the pelvis. Down towards where the mid-shoulder blades meet, re-tuck. The lower shoulder blades to the floor, re-tuck. I know you may be feeling this just from the quads, you're nearly there. A little bit lower, keeping the shoulders down, re-tuck. A little bit further, re-tuck, and then all the way down to the floor. Feet wide and allow the knees to flow side to side. Last little bit of breathing here, we'll do the 4-7-8 breath. So this is just a whistle-stop tour of a few breathing techniques that you might explore at another time. So any comfortable position, the knees can flock together. We breathe in for 4, we hold for 4, we breathe out for 8, 4-7-8. When you're ready. Breathe in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Breathe in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right leg up to the ceiling. Stretch the back of the leg. Point and flex. Spread the toes. Take a circle. Using the toes in the other direction. Switch legs. Point and flex. Circle. Create space between the toes and the other direction. Have a sway with the knees from tabletop side to side. And then we take a full lying twist, extend your left leg. Take your right knee up and over the body. Right arms extended, palm facing upwards. Gently sway, maybe the right shoulder can stay on the floor. Maybe it lifts, no forcing. Breathe in and out, softening with each exhalation. You know, this is the home stretch, literally. Let's extend the legs, switching sides. Other knee up and over. I like to hook my toes kind of in the nook behind my knee. And using the opposite hand to guide the knee down, or just supporting the lower spine, the hip into a twist. Relaxing the shoulder down away from the ears. And then we're coming up, knees into the chest. You rock on the spine forwards and backwards until you come up to sitting. And hey ho, done.